The arena floor was slick with something that wasn't quite blood, mine or the creature's. I couldn't tell anymore. My left arm hung useless, the bone inside grinding with every breath. The craft champion circled me, its 4 eyes fixed on my throat, mandibles clicking in what might have been laughter. Above us, in the observation deck that jetted from the arena's curved wall, the craft queen sat motionless on her throne of living metal. Her honor guards stood behind her in perfect formation, weapons held across their chests, their compound eyes reflecting the harsh arena lights. I'd counted them when they first brought me here. 200 soldiers, each one bred for war, each one capable of tearing me apart with their bare claws. They'd watched 17 fighters die in this arena over the past 3 days. Humans, mostly. Some I'd known from the colony ships. The craft didn't believe in quick deaths. I shifted my weight, trying to keep pressure off my shattered ribs. The champion noticed and lunged. I rolled left, felt chitin scrape across my shoulder, came up swinging the piece of broken hull plating I'd been using as a weapon. It connected with the creature's thorax, and the metallic clang echoed through the arena. The champion staggered. I pressed forward, driving the edge toward the gap in its armor where the primary limb joined the body. It caught my wrist with speed that shouldn't have been possible for something that size. The plating clattered to the ground. The champion's free claw wrapped around my throat. I couldn't breathe. Black spots danced across my vision. In my peripheral vision, I saw one of the honor guard lean forward slightly. The others remained perfectly still. The queen hadn't moved. She never moved. That's what scared me most about her. The absolute stillness, like a statue carved from midnight and patience. My hand found the shard of metal I'd hidden in my boot. It was barely longer than my palm, sharp enough to cut through pressure suits. I drove it upward into the soft tissue beneath the champion's jaw. Hot fluid sprayed across my face. The champion's grip loosened. I stabbed again. The creature made a sound like steam escaping from a broken valve and collapsed. I stood over the body, chest heaving, blood running down my face. The arena fell silent. I looked up at the observation deck. The queen's primary eyes were fixed on me. She raised one clawed hand, and the entire honor guard shifted in perfect unison. They weren't moving to attack. They were saluting. The gesture was sharp, precise, held for exactly 3 seconds before they returned to their ready positions. The queen stood. She'd never stood for any of the previous fights. She was massive, easily 8 feet tall, her exoskeleton etched with patterns that I'd learned meant military honors among the craft. She descended the stairs from the observation deck, her guard flowing around her like water, maintaining their formation. I grabbed my makeshift weapon from the ground, though my hand was shaking so badly I nearly dropped it. If they were coming to finish this, I'd die standing. They reached the arena floor. The queen walked past her champion's corpse without a glance, stopping 10 feet from me. This close, I could see the scars on her carapace, the places where armor had been regrown after battle. She studied me with an intensity that made my skin crawl. Then she spoke, her voice like rocks grinding together, the translator implant in my skull rendering it into flat, emotionless English. You fight with broken body, why not yield? I spat blood onto the arena floor. Because you'd kill me anyway. Yes. She tilted her head, a gesture that looked wrong on her alien features. But you would die without pain, honored opponent. This is Crathway. Your way put me here in the first place. Something shifted in the air around the honor guard. A tension I couldn't name. The queen's mandibles clicked once. You are human, Marcus Webb. Colony ship Meridian. Engineering specialist. You defended evacuation of civilian craft when our fleet arrived. You destroyed 3 craft warships with mining charges and a cargo hauler. You killed 117 warriors. This is confirmed? My throat was dry. Yes. You fought alone. Your crew abandoned you. This is also confirmed. I thought about Sarah taking the last escape pod. About Rodriguez saying there wasn't room. About watching the Meridian break apart while I welded the last charges into place. Yes. When she spoke again, her voice carried through the arena, amplified for all to hear. Krath honor law is absolute. Warrior who faces impossible odds alone and survives earns right of Cathar, right of single combat against conquered enemies champion. She gestured toward the corpse at my feet. You have 1 Cathar. You are free?
I stared at her. What?
You may leave this place. Krath will provide transport to human space. She paused. Or you may choose alternative. What alternative? The Queen's eyes reflected the arena lights like polished obsidian. You may join Honor Guard. Serve as my personal warrior. Unprecedented for alien. But Kraith respects strength. Respect warrior who fights alone and does not break. Behind her, the Honor Guard stood motionless, but I caught the slight shift of weight, the subtle turn of heads. They were as surprised as I was. The Queen was offering me something that had never been offered to a human. Maybe never been offered to any outsider. I looked down at my ruined body, at the blood soaking through my torn pressure suit, at the weapon in my trembling hand. I thought about Sarah, about Rodriguez, about every human who'd left me to die. Then I looked at the Croft Queen, at the Honor Guard behind her, at the way they'd saluted when I killed their champion. I thought about what it meant that they'd stayed to watch, that they hadn't looked away, that they'd seen me fight alone and recognized something in it. I need medical attention first, I said. The Queen's mandibles spread in what might have been a smile. This can be arranged. She turned and walked back toward the observation deck. The Honor Guard parted to let me follow. I took a step forward and nearly collapsed. One of the guards moved, catching me with surprising gentleness. Up close, I could see the intricate patterns on his armor, the battle scars that marked him as a veteran. He steadied me, then released me, falling back into formation. We left the arena together. The Queen in front, her Honor Guard surrounding her, and me limping in their midst, bleeding and broken but somehow still alive. Behind us, the arena lights dimmed, and the Krath champion's body lay cooling on the floor where I'd killed it. Word would spread quickly through the fleet. A human had won Kethar. A human had been offered a place among the Honor Guard. A human had fought alone and survived. The medical bay was unlike anything I'd seen before. The walls pulsed with bioluminescent patterns, and the air smelled of antiseptic and something floral that made my head swim. Krath medics worked with mechanical precision, their claws surprisingly gentle as they set my broken bones, sealed my wounds, pumped me full of drugs that made the pain recede to a distant throb. The Queen watched from the doorway, never coming closer, never looking away. When they finished, I could breathe without agony. My arm was in some kind of biomechanical brace that responded to my nerve impulses. The medics had shaved my head to attach monitoring devices, and I caught my reflection in a polished surface, gaunt, scarred, barely recognizable. One of the medics approached with a syringe filled with something that glowed faintly purple. Enhancement serum, the translator rendered. Will increase bone density, improve reaction time. Necessary for Honor Guard candidate. I looked at the Queen. She nodded once. I held out my arm. The medic injected the serum, and liquid fire spread through my veins. I gritted my teeth against the scream building in my throat. The pain lasted 30 seconds that felt like hours, then faded as suddenly as it had come. I flexed my fingers. They moved faster than they should have. I stood, and my legs felt like coiled springs. Enhancement takes 3 days to fully integrate, the Queen said. You will train during this time. If you fail training, you fail Honor Guard. You will be returned to human space with honor, but you will not serve. Understood. She studied me for a moment longer, then turned to leave. At the doorway, she paused. You interest me, Marcus Webb. You fight like Krath, like warrior who knows death is coming and chooses to meet it standing. This is rare among your kind. You haven't met many humans? I said. I have killed thousands of your kind. Her voice was flat, matter-of-fact. Most begged. Most ran. Most died crying for mercy that does not exist in war. You are different. I would know why. I thought about the real answer, that I'd had nothing left to lose, that being abandoned by my own crew had burned away whatever fear I'd carried before, that fighting alone meant there was no one left to disappoint, no one left to watch me fail. But that felt too raw, too honest for this moment. Someone had to buy time for the evacuation, I said instead. I was already there.
Made sense.
Sense. Yes. Krath understands sense. Krath understand duty. She left without another word, and I was alone in the medical bay with the glowing walls and the fading pain. Training began the next morning. The enhancement serum had worked through the night, and I woke feeling stronger than I'd ever been. The Honor Guard commander, a scarred veteran named Thektar, met me in the training arena. He was smaller than the Queen, but radiated a coiled violence that made my instincts scream. He carried a practice weapon, a staff made of the same living metal as the Queen's throne. You will learn Krath combat forms, he said.
You will learn craft discipline. You will learn to fight as unit, not as individual. He tossed me a staff.
I caught it one-handed, felt it pulse against my palm like a heartbeat. You will also learn that Honor Guard is not merely fighters. We are Queen's mind. Her voice. Her justice. If you cannot understand this, you cannot serve. He attacked without warning. The staff blurred toward my head. I blocked on instinct, felt the impact shudder through my bones. He swept low. I jumped. He was already reversing, the staff coming at my ribs. I barely parried in time. We moved across the arena floor in a dance of violence, his attacks coming faster than I could track, my defenses getting sloppier by the second. He stopped abruptly, lowering his staff. You fight to survive. This is good foundation, but Honor Guard must fight to complete mission. Survival is secondary. You understand difference? I nodded, just heaving. Show me. He attacked again, and this time I didn't just defend. When he committed to a thrust, I stepped inside his guard, accepting a glancing blow to my shoulder to drive my staff toward his throat. He blocked, but I'd forced him back a step, his mandibles spread in approval. Better, again. Ha ha ha. We trained for 6 hours. By the end, I could barely stand, but I'd started to see the patterns in his movements, the logic behind craft combat forms. Everything was about efficiency, about achieving objectives with minimal wasted motion. There was no showmanship, no unnecessary flourishes, just brutal, elegant effectiveness. Other members of the Honor Guard filtered in throughout the day, watching silently from the arena's edge, evaluating, judging. I felt their eyes on me like physical weight. During a break, one of them approached, smaller than Thektar, her armor marked with symbols I didn't recognize. I am Sekta, she said. Intelligence specialist. I served aboard ship you destroyed. Cutting wind. 43 of my clutchmates died when your charges detonated. I met her eyes, refusing to look away. I'm sorry for your loss. Do not apologize for victory. Her tone was sharp. You completed mission, destroyed superior force, protected your people. This is worthy. But I will ask question. Did you know our ship carried civilian observers? Scientists studying your species? The bottom dropped out of my stomach. No. 17 civilians died. Not warriors. She tilted her head. Does this change your view of your victory? I wanted to say something that would make this easier, but the Honor Guard prized honesty above comfort. Yes, it does.
Good. Warrior who feels no weight of collateral death is not warrior.
Is murderer. You understand cost of victory. This matters. She turned to leave, then paused. I opposed your inclusion in Honor Guard. I vote against you still. But I acknowledge you are worthy opponent. Perhaps worthy comrade. Time will tell. Thektar returned, and training resumed. That night, alone in my quarters, a sparse room with a sleeping platform and little else, I stared at the ceiling and thought about the 17 civilians. I'd known there were civilians on some Krath ships. I hadn't let myself think about it during the fighting. Hadn't let myself consider that the ships I was destroying held anyone but soldiers. Now I couldn't stop thinking about it. The second day of training focused on tactics and protocol. I learned Krath hand signals, the complex system of status markers in their armor, the different levels of threat assessment they used. The Queen visited briefly, watching from the observation deck while I ran combat simulations against multiple opponents. She left without comment, but Thektar informed me that her presence meant I was progressing satisfactorily. The third day they tested me in live combat, not to the death, but close enough. Honor Guard members attacked in rotation, each one exploiting the weaknesses the previous one had exposed. I took a claw to the ribs, a staff strike that cracked my newly healed arm, a kick that sent me sprawling across the arena floor. But I got back up, every time. And eventually I started landing hits of my own. When Thektar called the exercise complete, I was bleeding from a dozen wounds, but I was standing. Enhancement has integrated, he said. You are faster. Stronger. But this is not why you survive. You survive because you refuse to stop, because pain does not deter you, because defeat is not option your mind accepts. He paused. This is very Krath quality. Queen was correct to offer you this position. That evening the Queen summoned me to her chambers. I'd never been in this part of the ship before. The corridors were wider, the walls decorated with what I slowly realized were battle trophies, pieces of destroyed ships, weapons, fragments of armor, all carefully preserved and displayed, a museum of conquest. The queen's private chamber was surprisingly austere. No throne, no decorations except for a single wall covered in crystalline structures that pulsed with soft light. She stood with her back to me, studying the crystals. "Names have fallen," she said without turning. "Every warrior who died under my command. 63,417 crystals. I add new ones each day." She touched one gently and it chimed with a note that resonated in my chest. "Krath do not forget debts, to honored dead, to worthy enemies, to those who serve with distinction." She turned to face me. "You have completed basic training. Honor Guard votes tonight on your inclusion. Majority must approve. If you fail, you leave tomorrow with honor and transport to human space. If you pass, you swear oath of service. Permanent. Binding. You will be first human to serve Krath Queen. First alien in Honor Guard in 4 generations. There is no middle path. I understand. You will fight your own kind if duty requires. You will kill humans to protect Krath interests. You will follow orders that may seem cruel by your species standards. You will be neither human nor Krath, but something between. Outsider to both. This is a difficult path." I thought about Sarah's face as the escape pod launched, about Rodriguez shouting that there wasn't room, about the Meridian breaking apart while I worked alone in the dark. "I'm already an outsider," I said. The queen's mandibles clicked softly. "I see this in you. That's why I made offer. But understanding cost before paying it is wisdom. Many see opportunity without seeing price." She moved to a table along the wall, touched a control, and a holographic display activated. "Your crew." The display showed faces. Sarah Chen, alive and well, promoted to chief engineer on a new colony ship. Mark Rodriguez, lieutenant on a military vessel. Others I'd known, all of them thriving, all of them safe, all of them alive because I'd stayed behind. "They do not know you survived," the queen said. "Human command listed you as killed in action. Posthumous medal. Your name on memorial wall. They believe you dead. Good. You do not wish them to know truth? Well, what would be the point?" I looked at their faces, felt nothing but distant cold. They made their choice. I made mine. The person who served with them died on the Meridian. What I am now? That's something else. You understand transformation. This is good. Oath ceremony is in 1 hour. I suggest you prepare. The voting took place in the Honor Guard Assembly Chamber, a circular room with raised seating around a central platform. All 200 members attended, their armor gleaming under harsh white lights. I stood in the center, unarmed, while Thektar presented the formal case for my inclusion. He spoke in Krath. The translator didn't render it, probably intentionally, but I caught occasional words. Battle, strength, honor. When he finished, the queen spoke. Arguments for, arguments against. Speak now. He killed my clutchmates. He shows no remorse for this. He is alien. He does not understand our ways. I vote against. A larger warrior stood. He fought impossible odds alone. He defeated our champion in fair combat. He survives training that kills some Krath candidates. I vote for. Others spoke. Some for. Some against. The arguments blurred together until the queen raised her hand for silence.
"Vote now! Affirmative approach right!"
Negative approach left. The honor guard rose as one and moved. I watched them split, unable to breathe, unable to think. They settled into 2 groups, and for a long moment, no one moved. Then Thektar counted, his voice emotionless, rendering the totals in precise craft. 107 affirmative, 93 negative. The queen nodded. Majority approves. Marcus Webb, approach. My legs felt like they belonged to someone else. The queen produced a blade from somewhere in her armor. Ceremonial, the edge inscribed with symbols I couldn't read. Kneel. I knelt. She placed the blade against my shoulder. You swear to serve Krath Queen until death releases you? You swear to place duty above comfort, mission above survival, honor above personal desire? You swear to stand with honor guard in battle, in darkness and defeat, in victory. You swear to be voice and hand of your queen when she requires it. You swear to uphold Krath law and Krath justice without hesitation or mercy. Do you accept this oath? I accept. The blade moved to my other shoulder. You are no longer Marcus Webb of Meridian. You are Webentak, first human honor guard. Rise and take your place. I stood. Thektar approached with armor, lighter than standard craft armor, modified for my human frame but marked with the same symbols that decorated the others. He helped me into it, and the biomechanical components activated, interfacing with the enhancement serum in my blood. The armor became part of me, responsive as my own skin. The honor guard who'd voted for me approached one by one, each one touching their fist to their chest in salute. Even some who'd voted against came forward, acknowledging the oath if not the choice. Sektha was last. She studied me for a long moment, then saluted. You are honor guard now, she said. This means we are clutch mates in battle. I will kill for you. I will die for you. But I will also watch you. And if you betray oath, I will be first to end you. This is promise. I understand. The queen gestured, and the assembly dispersed. Within minutes, the chamber was empty except for her, Thektar, and me. First mission, the queen said. Human colony world and disputed space. Colonists claim Krath attacked civilian settlement. Humans demand investigation. I am sending honor guard delegation to determine truth. You will accompany as translator and liaison. My stomach tightened. When? Tomorrow. Thektar leads mission. 6 guards total, including you. Evidence suggests humans lie about attack, but we will verify. If humans attack themselves to justify military response, this is war crime by their own laws. If Krath forces attack civilians without authorization, this is war crime by our laws. Either way, justice will be served. I followed Thektar back to the honor guard quarters, my new armor feeling strange but somehow right. That night, I lay on my sleeping platform and thought about what I'd become. A human serving aliens who'd killed thousands of my species. A warrior sworn to uphold laws that weren't my own. A ghost to everyone who'd once known me. But when I closed my eyes, I didn't see Sarah's face or Rodriguez's excuse. I saw the queen standing in the arena, the honor guard saluting, Thektar's approval as I refused to stay down. I saw a purpose that had nothing to do with being human and everything to do with being worthy. Tomorrow I'd investigate humans, potentially fight humans, potentially kill them if justice demanded it, and I'd do it wearing Krath armor, following Krath law, serving a Krath queen. The person who'd left Earth on the Meridian would have been horrified. But that person was dead. What remained was Webtak, honor guard, and that person understood duty above all else. I slept without dreams and woke ready for whatever came next.